Welcome to the Bison Coaches Corner. I'm Jeremy Jorgensen, joined by head women's basketball coach Carolyn DeHoff, and we're here to discuss two home games, Western Illinois and Omaha for the Bison women's basketball team. The Bison lost both of those games, but as we move into March here, you're trying to build your team up for that three-game trip down to Sioux Falls where you can really get on a run and potentially get yourself into postseason. That's still out there for the Bison women. What did you get out of this weekend, Coach?
Well, we just got to find a way to score, honestly. Give credit to both Western and Omaha, sticking to what they do, what they do well. We're kind of a tell of two halves, too, and for us, it's putting the ball in the basket, and two, being a lot more consistent from half to half so that, we can build a lead, get a lead, maintain a lead like we did against Western where we were up 9, but they cut it to 3 before halftime, and be able to have that momentum going into halftime.
Let's take a look at this Western Illinois game. It was a Thursday night game, and Western has been on a little bit of a roll, maybe not playing great, but the wins and losses right at 500.
Yep, they have been, and certainly, JD comments about that too. They're finding ways to win, and I thought Bree Wattman had a great game in this game against, the Hendrickson kid. And Ashley Luke, she's a load, and she took over about the end of the first half and had a great second half for them.
Coach, you were up 9, as you mentioned just a few minutes ago, heading into half, and then they really went on a run right before half. That was a key part of this game.
It was a key part, and Ashley Luke had a lot to do with that, with offensive rebounds, and certainly gave them a lift going in at halftime.
How do you get a team sometimes when things start to go poorly? How do you get back on track within the course of a certain game?
Well, sometimes you might go to your bench and see if you can find, some energy on the bench. And I thought Tay gave us great life, this weekend, especially in the Omaha game. And then you knock down a couple shots and you start feeling it a little bit.
Yep. There's the score, 76-68. Western Illinois beats the Bison. So you move into Friday now, Coach. You got Omaha coming in, a team that had beat you down at Omaha, is towards the bottom of the league. So you're probably thinking this is a great chance to get a victory. How did you approach it with the kids, though, to prepare for that Saturday game?
Well, we obviously looked a little bit over Western. We got ourselves into some significant foul trouble, put them to the free throw line too much in the second half, and really that was on us. And so we addressed that and then moved on. And they were great spirits on Friday. Worked a little bit against the zone, the shots that we were going to get, the shots we needed to look for, and then we needed to do some things defensively. Erica House, had 30 points the night before against South Dakota State, and Taja Kelly had a good game too. So we really tried to focus on those two kids and what our game plan defense was going to be.
Let's roll the highlights from Omaha. It's a Saturday game, and I'll say this about Omaha: a very young team. They have a lot of young talent, and it's kind of surprising they only have the one league win.
Yeah, and obviously, their point guard, did a really good job. Put a lot of pressure on us, on the rim. And again, we couldn't find the bottom of the basket in the first half. I think we shot 21%. I thought we had the right looks, kind of that high post. There's Marina getting herself down. There's a little screen, 15-footer by Bree Wattman. We just, and I think we got the same shots the second half that we got in the first. We just couldn't put them in.
Do you think over the course of 40 minutes, you had 17 points in the first half? Sometimes it's just hard to get on a consistent roll shooting the basketball, isn't it?
It has been.
Yeah.
It has been for us, and certainly, at our own place. And, we just got to keep plugging away here. And, spent some time yesterday, an hour of just great shooting practice. Our kids really, appreciated it. And so, because, again, I wouldn't be surprised if the next 3 teams don't zone us maybe the game or at least some of the game.
Yeah, because zone packs it in the paint and forces you to the perimeter, right? And they probably see film where you're not knocking down shots. You're getting good looks, though, as we see here.
We are, and again, talked about it at halftime. Got Marina there at the Summit League tournament. There's Tay finding Holly on the backside as we're occupying and pinning in those wings, and so you get a paint touch. You certainly look to score, but you got long diagonal. There's Holly, with hands down and knocking down the 3. We just couldn't get those shots to drop for us in the first half. Got them to drop in the second half.
68-57, the final. Omaha gets the victory. Coach, so many games, though. We talk about missing shots, but you've been in a lot of these games. Very competitive. There are some some winnable matchups in this league, so that's something to hang your hat on right now. You've been very competitive with a lot of the teams in the league.
Well, I will say that our kids have definitely been competitive, and the team we have this week in South Dakota State is no different. Our kids competed in the first half, and again, we just watching the film here the last 2 days, the shots that we had going back. Okay, what do we need to do differently? And honestly, we just need to continue to execute in the half court as well as we can, get very good looks, but then we got to get second and third opportunities. And really, the free throw line is what's getting us, and it's not necessarily us can't get there, but that's okay. But it's sending our opponent to the line. We sent Nebraska Omaha 30 times, and so we need to be a lot more disciplined defensively and see if we can cut that down to maybe 17 for our opponent and not as many, because South Dakota State will get there too this weekend.
Now, talking about South Dakota State, I've talked to people around the league, and they say maybe this isn't the best SDSU women's team, but here they are 10-1 in the league. They're still very good. They've won this league every year in Sioux Falls. They're still that powerhouse. And what do you remember from the first matchup? They won by 20, but it was close in the first half. What do you remember that went well and that you can work on?
Well, we were only down 6. Again, watching it the last 2 days, we were only down 6 with 5 minutes left.
Sure.
And then they started attacking us. They got a couple end ones, the old-fashioned end ones on us, and then again we couldn't convert on the offensive end to kind of stop that bleeding. And so really the score wasn't really reflective of how well I thought our kids played in that game. And we're certainly going to have to play a lot better at Frost Arena. It's their last home game for their seniors. Certainly their last home game for the year, before both of us again are on the road the following weekend. So, we just got to we'll show the kids what we did well and see if we can build on that for this weekend.
They have a really good freshman, Carrie Young. She had 23 points here at the Bison Sports Arena. She's very long, lanky, a tough matchup, isn't she?
Again, watching the film, they went small and started that way on us for about 10 minutes in the second half, and so she was part of that. And so, we'll look at that a little bit more, see if we need to tweak our lineup a little bit. If they do that again, they tend to stay big. But she also played post in high school, so she's that type of small forward that can really present a mismatch. If you have a big on her, she knows how to take advantage of that. If you put a small on her, she has the size to post up. So, obviously, we'll address her a little bit and see if we can kind of quiet her. But also, they just have a number of kids that can score. And we just got to, I thought we played well. I thought what we did is we really defended them in conversion defense because they really rely on transition shots. And if we can take care of that, then we force them into a half-court game. And
not many people have ever been able to win at Frost Arena, but you have won at Frost Arena just a few years ago here. It can be done.
Well, it can be done, and part of that is execution. We really executed well down there. Obviously, we defended well, but we really executed offensively and then hit some shots. And what we did is you take the crowd out of it. And when you can take the crowd out of it at Frost Arena, you give yourself a chance. Certainly, with about 4 minutes left in that game, they really got into it because that's when South Dakota State made a run. And so, we have a young team, but we've been in these environments. And so if we can kind of keep our composure and not panic like we did at IUPUI, and get out of the gates quick, then we can give ourselves a chance to settle into this game and see if we can win it.
Good luck to you, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jeremy.
You betcha. 104.7 is the FM dial for this game on the radio. It's Jack Michaels from Frost Arena in Brookings, South Dakota. This Saturday, it's the Bison and Jackrabbits. We'll recap that game for you next week here on the Bison Coaches Corner. Have a great week, everyone.